Welcome one and all to another edition of the Cine Geeks podcast where movies, TV, and all things geek collide. I'm Roy, still joined by my lovely co-host Angela.
Hello!
Hey Angela, and at long last, it's finally here.
Yes!
Ang Miss Universe, ang NBA Finals, ang PBA Finals, ang WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Ano ba?
Ang WrestleMania ng mga film fans worldwide. And that is, of course, the Academy Awards.
The Oscars.
The Oscars,
oh,
yes. The 97th, no? Tama.
97th na?
97th na.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Parang Christmas, no?
Yep.
It's the most wonderful time of the year for us movie fans because it's the season for celebrating the best of the best that cinema has to offer during the previous year.
Yes,
Yan.
that's right. And just like last year, we will be giving our predictions for who we want to win in this year's Academy Awards.
Tama. But this year, we'll be doing it a little bit differently. Kung last year, pinasadahan natin in one supersized episode
Yes.
yung lahat ng categories. This year, may part na mas detalyado.
Yes. Top 6 categories na. And what are those?
Those are Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor and Actress, Best Supporting Actor and Actress, Screenplay, Adapted and Original, and of course, Cinematography.
Yan. So we lumped them together for efficiency.
Yes.
Yes.
And of course, we will be abstaining from the short film and documentary categories since wala namang way to watch it legally in the Philippines.
That's right.
Yeah.
But before we continue, we would like to remind everyone who hasn't done so to please follow our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
And of course, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, Letterboxd, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Blue Sky. So you can join in on the fun. Also, visit our website, www.cinegeekspod.com for the latest in movie and TV news and reviews.
Send us your questions, suggestions, and feedback to cinegeekspod@gmail.com and join us on our Facebook group. That's Cinegeeks PHHQ. There you can interact with us and your fellow Cine Geeks as well. Let's get started.
Okay.
Finally, here is the moment of truth. Let's get started with a quick fire round of this podcast.
Okay.
Starting with original score.
Ako, Brutalist.
Same. Napakaganda nung score nun.
Yes.
Original song.
Original song ko, Like a Bird from Sing Sing.
Okay. Ako
I'm
naman.
like a bird. Ay, hindi ba yun?
Ewan ko. Siguro. Honestly, hindi ko pa napapanood yung Sing Sing.
Okay.
Kaya, siguro parang anyone but Emilia.
Okay.
True. I mean, pero sa akin, parang, yes, Emilia was bad. Pero I would give props konti dun sa Elmal.
Okay.
Yung rap ni Zoe Saldana.
So, hindi na anyone but Emilia.
Yun na lang. Sige, bigyan na isa.
Okay.
Okay. Makeup and hairstyling.
Wicked.
Same. Wicked. Costume design.
Wicked.
Same. VFX.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Actually, same. Di ba sinabi natin sa review natin last
May.
May na
Yeah.
it's an Oscar-worthy work from the VFX houses.
Grabe naman, ibang level yan eh. Hyper-realistic talaga.
That's right.
Deserving. Next.
Next, editing.
Conclave.
Yes, editing ko, Brutalist.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. Production design,
Wicked.
Brutalist.
Ooh. Talaga?
Sound.
Wicked. Hindi halatang favorite ko yung Wicked eh, no?
I mean, maganda naman. Sige, bigyan natin ng isa si Dune.
Okay.
Sound.
Aww.
Nakalimutan na.
Aww.
Okay, international.
Honestly, dito ko sasabihin na anyone but Emilia.
Anyone but Emilia. Diyos ko Maria Joseph. Sige, animated feature film.
Wild Robot.
Okay, ako naman Inside Out 2. So, those are our quick fire picks for the non-main categories, kumbaga, for this year's Oscars. Simulan na natin yung himayan.
Okay.
Okay. Simulan natin sa cinematography.
Okay.
And the nominees are
Ooh.
The Brutalist, Lol Crawley, Dune Part 2, Greg Fraser, Emilia Perez, Paul Gilhaume, Maria, Edward Lachman, and Nosferatu, Jarin Blaschke. Okay, so 5 contenders. Ladies first. Sino ang gusto mong manalo for Best Cinematography?
Ito naman yung ibibigay ko sa Dune Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi parang feeling ko sobrang not Denis Villeneuve's year. Sayang kasi superior na movie yung Dune Part 2 kaysa sa 1. Pero parang mas maraming accolades yung 1. Considering...
Alam mo, may nabasa ako actually recently sa Variety. Na yung, di ba, pag ganitong panahon ng Oscar season, sinasabi, may mga yung honest Oscar ballots. Yung mga ganong article. May nagsabi ba naman na hindi daw nila pinanood yung part 2?
Huh?
Kasi daw nahabaan sila sa part 1.
Yun yung reason.
Go figure.
Hey kids.
Ay, nako. Bakit Dune part 2 para sa'yo?
Kasi sobrang mesmerizing nung movie na yun eh.
That's true.
I can always, look back dun sa cinematic experience ko while watching Dune Part 2. Sobrang niyang immersive. I felt like I was in these otherworldly planets.
In Arrakis.
Halos lahat. Kahit yung ibang planets. Yung planet ni, yung may,
yung kinano.
vinaigrette na,
Sabihin ko yung planet ni Elvis Presley.
yun. Yung naliligo si Stellan sa vinaigrette.
Sabi ko, ano siya, focaccia bread.
Oo. The Italianis.
Planet Italianis.
Oo.
Okay.
So, yeah, I remember it to be so beautiful visually.
Yes.
Sobrang ganda niya, sobrang sarap niya sa mata.
Tama.
Feast for the eyes.
Yes. I would definitely agree with you if hindi dumating ang aking pick for Best Cinematography, which is Lowell Crawley for The Brutalist. Sige, sabihin natin na biktima ako ng recency bias. Pero my God naman, iba naman yung recency na parang halos isang taon yung pagitan nung pagkakapanood natin ng Dune Part 2 at saka ng The Brutalist.
Actually, parang almost to the date.
Actually,
diba?
Yes. So almost to the date, yes. Yung last Monday or Tuesday of February.
But we did watch Dune ahead of the
ahead of
release.
Yes, that's right.
And yung Brutalist naman, sobrang late na dito.
Sobrang late na natin. Pero talagang tiniis ko na, no. We are sources for Brutalist. Kasi parang sinasabi siya na epic yung scale niya. It deserves to be seen in the cinemas. So, ayoko mag-review dito. This is just picks. Okay? Kasi we're putting out our review Cinebites video for that. Pero yung cinematography ng Brutalist was so mesmerizing. And given the subject matter of the film, which is architecture,
perfect, no?
Napaka-perfect architecturally nung lahat ng mga shots. Lalo na yung may mga shots nung nagtatraverse yung kotse, tas kita yung kaling gumaganon. Little architectural tidbit, kumbaga.
Ooh.
Kasi yung airpods ko is an architect. So, lumaki ako.
You wanted to be an architect.
I also wanted to be an architect nung bata ako. So, merong isang concept in architecture that's called the vanishing point. Kumbaga, pipili yung architect ng isang punto dun sa design niya, lalo na kung perspective yung dinidesign. Yung lahat ng mga parang perspective nung drawing to that point. So, every time you see that shot of a car traveling the road, kita mo kung nasan yung vanishing point eh. Like, architecturally speaking. Tapos,
may ganun palang detail.
Yun. Tapos, kapag pinapakita yung mga shots nung monument, so to speak, na tinatayo ni Laszlo Toth, ni Adrian Brody, tsaka ni Harrison Van Buren, ni Guy Pearce, sobrang in awe of the architecture nung camera. So, siguro sa akin, mas more siya as a fan of architecture and of cinema. Para siyang perfect marriage siya, itong scening to.
True.
So, yung cinematography, sobrang
bias ka talaga dyan.
sa mata. Grabe naman, bias.
Hindi, joke lang.
Ay, okay. So, just to recap kayo, Dune Part 2 for cinematography. Ako, The Brutalist. Moving on to the screenplays categories. The screenplays.
Screenplays.
Yes, let's start with the best original screenplay. And the nominees are Anora, Sean Baker, The Brutalist, Brady Corbett and Mona Fastvold, A Real Pain, Jesse Eisenberg, September 5, Moritz Binder and Tom Filebaum, co-written by Alex David, and The Substance by Coralie Farjo. Ladies first again, ano ang iyong pick for best original screenplay?
For Best Original Screenplay, medyo nahirapan akong pumili dito eh. Kasi halos lahat I liked.
Okay. Halos is the operative word.
Oo, kasi I did not watch September 5.
Oo, tama.
Pero ang pick ko dito is The Substance na lang.
Okay.
Kasi yun talaga yung parang after watching it, yun yung mas nagstay sa akin after.
Okay. So, ako naman, for writing Best Original Screenplay, The Brutalist. Pa rin. It's always a Herculean task writing about someone who has endured such inhumanity as a victim of the Holocaust. Na there are common pitfalls na parang masyadong kawawa naman siya or masyado namang parang indifferent doon sa plight niya. Na parang napaka-pragmatic naman nung tingin. Nakakatuwang panoorin sa Brutalist is it manages to pay respect to both the hardship endured by individuals like Laszlo Toth. By the way, Laszlo is a fictional character. Hindi siya based on a true story. So,
he felt real nga eh. So, ganun din kagaling yung screenplay because he felt like a real person.
Exactly. He felt like a real person. Pero at the same time, the script doesn't focus on parang, wow, kawawa naman si Laszlo. Hindi. The script gives him enough humanity and agency to feel like a real person. Hindi ginawa ni Brady Corbet and ni Mona Fastfold na personality ni Laszlo Toth yung pagiging Holocaust survivor. Pagkus, ginawa niyang parang that's the thing that's parang spurring on our main character. He's not going to let the Holocaust define himself. And he's willing to endure all these hardships para lagpasan yun. So, yun yung sobrang parang nakakaantig, kumbaga, watching The Brutalist.
All right, on to the next category. We have Best Adapted Screenplay. And the nominees are A Complete Unknown, James Mangold and Jay Cox. Conclave, Peter Strahan. Emilia Perez, Jacques Audiard. Nickel Boys, Romel Ross and Jocelyn Barnes. And Sing Sing, screenplay by Greg Quidar and Clint Bentley.
All right.
All right. So you go first this time.
Okay. So, para sa akin, ang clear winner dito, Conclave.
Same.
Walang question. Ikaw, bakit Conclave ang nagustuhan mo dito sa category na to?
Kasi one of our friends who read the novel actually told us na mas marami pa daw intrigue dun sa book kesa dun sa lumabas sa movie.
Sine. Okay.
So parang this is a rare, parang perfect adaptation.
True.
Kasi parang the movie depicts the book perfectly while still saving some for the book readers or those who want to read the book. Parang yun yung perfect kind of adaptation for me eh. Na hindi siya nagsasapawan.
Oo, yung pa rin niya, na-honor niya yung substance nung yung substance nung source material niya while still being a beast of its own.
Kasi sabi naman nila, parang it doesn't take away from the main story.
That's true.
So, doon nag-focus yung movie sa main story, pero mas marami daw intrigue, mas maraming drama and chismis.
So, parang na-streamline niya. Naging focused yung narrative doon sa sine. That's true. At sa akin merong isang detalye doon sa sine na spoiler, pero kung niretain niya yung detail na yun from the book, another spoiler, matik na agad yun. Wala na. Kahit nung unang pinanood pa lang natin, okay, panalo na agad yan. Give it all the awards.
A++.
A++++++. Bayang Magilyo.
Clue.
Okay, so let's now move on to the supporting characters na category. Okay, let's start with the best supporting actress. Milady, if you would.
Okay.
Okay.
And the nominees are, wow, para tayo nasa Monica Barbaro, A Complete Unknown. Ariana Grande, Wicked. Felicity Jones, The Brutalist. Isabella Rossellini, Conclave. And Zoe Saldana, Emilia Perez.
Okay. Here we go.
And the Oscar goes to...
Ako, siguro when the nominations first came out, na ako sa camp ni Ariana Grande for Glinda. Glinda Upland. Linda. Until napanood ko yung The Brutalist. Ang galing ni Felicity Jones doon. Super. As in, I thought this is not gonna be too much of a spoiler, I guess, in saying na The Brutalist has an intermission. Felicity Jones appears after the intermission. Second half siya. Which is still a sizable chunk of the film. Pero when she appears, my God, she is formidable as all hell.
Yeah.
Ikaw, Sino ang ano mo dito?
Well, ako talaga, ang early pick ko talaga was Ariana Grande.
Ariana.
And also, parang it saddens me na yung mga acting categories, especially sa Oscars and sa the major award-giving bodies, they don't really give that much recognition sa mga comedic roles.
True.
Mahirap magpatawa.
True.
Mahirap magkaroon ng comedic timing. It's something that's innate.
Yes.
That's natural to you. Like, it's either you have it or you don't. Kahit gano'n pa ka-funny yung script na sinulat sa'yo, kung wala kang comedic timing, hindi pa rin magta-translate yun as effectively. Kaya na-appreciate ko si Ariana Grande because she was really a revelation as Galinda.
Tama.
Well, siya yung favorite ko, oo. Pero may point ka din eh. Powerful kasi yung performance talaga ni Felicity Jones. And I think, mas may impact siya kasi when she entered the movie, when she entered the story, I mean, biglang nag-shift eh.
True.
You felt her presence.
Oo.
Parang there was something that changed within me.
Okay.
Hindi, it just amazes me how they were able to mix it up at that point. Kasi ang dami nang nangyari, ang haba na nung kwento. The first half can be an entire movie alone. It can end there. Pero nung pumasok si Elizabeth, biglang na-mix up lahat eh. Biglang nag-iba yung dynamic.
Yung energy. Okay, so, in summation, sino ang iyong pick for final?
In the grand scheme of things, serving the story, parang mas effective si Felicity Jones. Yeah. Pero Ariana is my close, very, very close second.
True. Kasi, nung hindi natin pa napapanood yung The Brutalist, clear winner for us, Ariana, talaga.
So, sorry Zoe, pero, yeah.
So, yeah, masabi ko lang Zoe Saldana is a case of category fraud. She is not a supporting actress. She's the lead character of the film.
Oh.
Siya yung bida eh. Doon nagsimula yung, and we're gonna get to another category, to yung the next one, sa best supporting actor, kung bakit this sentiment of mine also holds water for another nominee.
True.
Zoe is the lead character in Emilia Perez.
Siya yung finalaw natin. Siya yung unang character na nakilala natin.
Exactly.
Siya yung may journey.
Exactly.
Diba? I agree. Dapat siya yung best actress na nominee.
We're gonna skip that landmine of a discussion. Sige. Next, doon tayo sa next category.
Okay.
Baka may masabi pa tayo. Let's go to Best Supporting Actor. And the nominees are Yura Borisov, Anora, as Igor. Kieran Culkin, in A Real Pain, as Benji Kaplan. Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, as Pete Seeger. Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, as Harrison Lee Van Buren Sr. And Jeremy Strong, in The Apprentice, as Roy Cohn. Okay, so, ladies first, sino ang iyong pick for Best Supporting Actor?
Given the nominees before me, I picked Kieran Culkin.
Okay.
Kasi siya yung pinaka-moving yung performance for me.
Okay.
Although, yeah, going back to what you said earlier, I also think that he should be the lead actor in this. Siya yung una-una nating nakita. Siya yung protagonist. Siya yung may journey.
Diba?
Siya yung may real pain.
Diba?
So parang,
God.
ang weird lang na bakit siya yung supporting. Dapat co-lead sila actually ni Jesse Eisenberg eh.
Kasi, I mean, no offense to Jesse Eisenberg, he created a very beautiful screenplay of Real Pain. Pero tama ka na bida si Kieran. Hindi siya supporting. If anything, ang supporting doon, si Jesse.
Siya yung straight man eh.
Oo. And besides that, if we are just following the rules of story, sino ang may journey? Sino ang may arc? Kieran. Diba?
Siya talaga dapat.
So, usually, sino ba ang may ganong arcs in stories? Yung bida.
Oo.
Tama. I appreciate na sinabi mo yung given the nominees before you. Kasi, kahit paano naman, napaka-formidable pa rin nung portrayal ni Kieran ni Benji Kaplan. I agree with you. This is actually parang nga siyang yung supporting sa actress din na he may clear winner until dumating si Brutalist. So that's for me. The winner for me is is Guy Pearce. Sorry. Is Guy Pearce for The Brutalist as Harrison Van Buren Sr.
So, hindi mo naman favorite yung Brutalist, no?
Di ba obvious? Hindi naman masyado obvious, no?
Hindi naman. Medyo lang.
Slight lang. Kasi, if we are going to be semantic about supporting roles in this movie, his was the truest supporting role in terms of yung kung sino yung pinakalamado for me. Kasi, bago natin napanood yung The Brutalist, napanood natin yung A Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
And then for me, my winner then was Ed Norton.
Talaga?
Over Kieran. Na. Kasi para sa akin, na-appreciate ko yung chameleonic na portrayal ni Ed Norton na nawala si Ed Norton at all. Na parang parang kung hindi mo alam yung checkered na history ni Edward Norton, parang tas pinanood mo siya sa Complete Unknown, parang isip mo, ay, bait-bait naman ng tao na to.
Nothing like the Ed Norton we know.
Di ba? So, and even yung sige, following yung sa his place in the story, his actions propel the quote-unquote arc. Kasi sobrang superfluous na pagkakagamit ng arc, na word na arc doon sa scening yon ni Bob Dylan. Pero supporting pa rin siya.
Yeah.
Pero nung dumating, napanood natin yung Brutalist, wala na. Guy Pearce, sobrang galing. He's been a very dependable actor for years.
Yes.
Sobrang dami niyang mga roles na sobrang, ako para sa akin na naging iconic na. My God, Memento.
Oo.
Diba?
Doon pa lang.
Doon pa lang, Memento. Ano pa? If I'm being selfish as a genre fan, si Peter Wayland sa Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yun, napaka-galing niyang mag-shift from role to role para siyang si Christian Bale. Kumbaga.
Yeah, chameleonic talaga.
Oo, and sige, titigil na ako sa pag-gush about Brutalist dito sa video na to.
Talaga ba?
Pero doon sa review natin, sasabihin ko kung bakit sobrang galing niya as Harrison Van Buren Sr. So, he was my pick. So, just to confirm, ang pick mo for Best Supporting Actor is Kieran Culkin. And I'm picking Guy Pearce. Okay, dokie. Let's go over to our lead actors. Let's start with Best Actress.
Best Actress in a leading role. All right. The nominees are Cynthia Erivo, Wicked, as Elphaba Throp, Carla Sofia Gascon, Emilia Perez as Emilia Perez / Juan Manitas Del Monte, Mikey Madison, Anora, as Anora Annie Mikiva, Demi Moore, The Substance, as Elizabeth Sparkle, and Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here, as Eunice Paiva.
Okay. So, a few notes for this category. Okay. We are aware of the critical acclaim that I'm Still Here has. Actually, kung tutuusin nga, I've been reading up on the movie. I told you earlier today, nag-uusap tayo na the film is a bit, or hits a bit close to home. Kumbaga,
oo nga, no?
may shades, historically, may shades of a certain historical, shades of yellow. May historical figure siyang katulad sa history natin. Pero, we are not going to accept na hindi natin mapapanood yung sine. So, hindi tayo susunod na parang, may prognostication na, sige, ito si mananalo siya. Hindi natin siya pipiliin kasi hindi natin siya napanood. Okay? The less said about Carla Sofia Gascon, the better. Moving on, Anora. Okay, nung pinanood natin siya, up to now, I still don't get the hype about that movie. Although, Mikey Madison was great. Yeah. I mean, given what she was asked to do.
She owned that role. Talaga naman.
She is the role.
Yeah.
Heart, body, and soul. Yeah. Kumbaga.
Parang she deserves naman the nomination. Attention that she's getting from this.
That's true. She has a wonderful future ahead of her as an actress. I can say that. Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba in Wicked, nung sinabi natin siya nung sa review natin na she doesn't feel like the lead in her own movie. Kaya medyo, sige sabihin natin na medyo konting categoric fraud din si Ariana Grande kasi mas nagsashine si Glinda dun sa Wicked 1.
Well, not really.
Until the end. Kasi syempre, iba yung last 15 minutes ng Wicked eh.
Well, true. Medyo scene stealer nga si Ariana.
Si Ariana.
Pero alam ko yung Wicked 2.
Yung Wicked for Good.
Yung kay Elphaba story talaga.
Elphaba,
Elphaba's Revenge.
Oo, yan. Oo. And so, the only natural conclusion is Demi Moore for the substance. As Elizabeth Sparkle.
Yeah, she's also my pick.
No? Galing, no? As in talagang parang, kumbaga, para siyang yung nung year na na-nominate si Jamie Lee Curtis na Best Supporting Actress. Na it's long over...
Oh.
Yung, she has been so great for so long. And it's fantastic to see her in a role that fits her to a T. Kasi parang may pagka-meta yung role niya.
Yeah.
Tapos, ginampanan niya ng sobrang perfectly yung struggle nung isang celebrity na past her prime, still looking for a way to be relevant. Ayoko naman sabihin na gano'n si Demi Moore ngayon. Pero parang, meron siyang pinaghuhugutan. And she...
Something that's personal to her. Demi Moore.
That's true.
As a person.
Oo. Kaya sa akin, pick ko si Demi Moore.
Yes.
Ikaw.
Same.
Sabi mo, di ba? Same.
Oo. For me, yung performance talaga ni Demi Moore was sobrang niyang moving kasi nga napaka-personal. And if you know her history as an actress from the 80s pa, you know na parang medyo may pagka-autobiographical eh.
Actually.
Tong story na to eh. Very personal to her. And just imagining her headspace portraying this role, Elizabeth Sparkle, na parang she's playing herself. Parang, wow, sobrang, damn, ang brave.
Yo.
Ang brave nung the way she parang deconstructs her own self-image.
True.
Kasi yung beauty niya, yung reputation niya as one of the most beautiful faces ever, parang face that head on the reality of aging. And yung changing times and the standard of beauty.
That's true. Yeah. So, for us, both, it's Demi Moore for the win. Best Actress. Okay, let's move on to Best Actor, if you please.
Okay. For the Best Actor in a Leading Role, the nominees are Adrian Brody, the Brutalist as Laszlo Toth, Timothy Chalamet, a complete unknown as Bob Dylan, Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing as John Divine G. Whitfield, Ray Fiennes, Conclave as Cardinal Thomas Lawrence, and Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice as Donald Trump.
Okay. So, another asterisk for this category. Yung The Apprentice, nung lumabas to, I think we were out of the country. Last October, kumbaga. And Sing Sing wasn't shown in cinemas until last Wednesday. So this is being recorded Thursday night, the 27th of February. So medyo time crunch na tayo.
Yes.
So
unfortunately,
may mga hindi na tayo napanood. So yung tatlo na panood natin dito is si Adrian Brody, si Timothy Chalamet,
Chalamalabingbong,
tsaka si Ray Fiennes in Conclave. Mabilisan lang to. Nung napanood natin yung Conclave, Ray Fiennes, matik.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Hands down.
Hands down. Tapos nung nag-complete unknown, parang, may laban si Chalamalabingbong. Medyo. Pero kung talagang down to brass tacks, Ray Fiennes talaga. Again,
along came
the Brutalist.
Yay!
And my God, Adrian Brody just sealed the win. 5 minutes pa lang. Into a 3-hour and 35-minute film.
Powerful.
How does he do that?
Oo nga eh. Bang klase. Grabe yung gravitas niya, no? As an actor.
Hindi ko alam ba kung bakit nagawa niya. Siguro dahil kasi may experience na siya. Nanalo pa siya dati dahil sa The Pianist.
Alam mo ba na he's the youngest ever to win a Best Actor?
Yes, he was.
Sa Oscars?
Yes, he was.
At 29.
29. For The Pianist, as for aforementioned. Siguro na medyo daya siya. Na parang na-nominate na naman siya for a role na nanalo na siya dati.
Parang poster boy siya ng Holocaust.
Holocaust siya. Parang ganun, oo. Kung buhay pa siya siguro nung early 90s na nakast siya dapat
si Schindler.
Siya si Schindler pwede actually.
Sabi na
diba? Why not? Pero, I mean, kidding aside, Adrian Brody just gives a masterclass in acting. As in talagang he blows away Chalamet out of the water dun sa kanyang portrayal of Bob Dylan. Kasi yung sa Bob Dylan niya parang medyo okay. Parang ano yung bago dun? It's just you're watching a disaffected teen portrayed by a teen.
So parang emo teen.
Parang emo lang siya. Parang it's just an emo character on screen. So,
medyo may pagka-standoffish na teenager.
Pero magaling si Chalamet. He committed to the role. Pero there wasn't a spark.
Well, mas may dating yung performance niya sa Dune kaysa dito.
Dapat nga. Doon nga siya dapat na nominate.
If anything, mas gusto ko pa yung performance niya sa Wonka.
Lisanal Gabe. Yung kay Ray Fiennes naman, unfortunately, there was just someone better.
Kasi yung kay Ray Fiennes, parang yun na yung, sabi ko nga sa'yo, diba? Parang, we've seen him in these roles before.
True.
Yung parang diplomatic na tipong sobrang controlled and composed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him do that before. It's nothing we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Although same din with Adrian Brody, pero kasi ito, you're gonna see it for almost 4 hours.
Pero it doesn't get old.
It doesn't. Kasi nga, ang grabe yung weight, yung impact nung kanyang delivery ng lines niya. Of course, it was both in English and in
Hungarian.
So parang, alam mo yung emotion niya, even in switching between these two languages, is consistent.
Galing. Talaga. Alam mo, kahit siya, ganun kahaba yun. Sige, mamaya na pag-usapan natin ito. With 2 category pa tayo. Tapusin na natin. Let's go over. Sorry, wala. Best actor mo is?
Adrian Brody.
Let's go, Brody.
Yeah,
okay.
Brody.
Let's go. Let's go over now to the second to the last category, which is Best Director. And the nominees are Sean Baker, Anora; Brady Corbet, The Brutalist; James Mangold, A Complete Unknown; Jacques Audiard, Emilia Perez; and Coralie Farshaw, The Substance. Ladies first, sino ang iyong pick?
Sobrang hirap din ito. Kasi I'm rooting for Coralie. Kasi I know and everybody knows na female directors get very little recognition in the Oscars.
That's true. That's very true.
And the fact na she was able to clinch a nomination is already sobrang rarity na yun.
Mm-mm.
'Di ba? And for her to win, parang yun yung ultimate na prize.
Yes, that's true.
And also, a woman director making a bold statement about beauty and feminism and yung impossible standards the society puts on women pagdating sa image, sa body, sa face, sa age. Alam mo yun, napaka-appropriate na it should come from a woman herself. Kaya para sa akin, her being a female director making that bold statement is parang much more impactful. And that should earn her the highest recognition. It doesn't equate naman na parang The Substance is a very good movie pero there's a movie that's superior din eh. Alam mo yun, ang hirap. Kasi parang lang yan eh. Along came The Brutalist. Kasi hindi ko nga alam kung reason si bias lang ba dahil kakapanood lang natin. Pero kasi grabe din yung statement nung Brutalist for me. It stayed with me after the movie. Ang dami kong pagninilay-nilay na ginawa after that. And yun nga eh, parang ibang klase din yung Brutalist eh.
That is true.
So, it's a toss-up between Coralie and Brady Corbet for me. I can't pick one.
Pwede pa mag-tie.
MMFF.
Jesus Christ.
Malay mo mag-MMFF sa Oscars.
Bibeka Babaji. Take it. Kids.
Wow.
Just Google, Viveka.
Age reveal.
Google nyo, Viveka Babaji. Okay, sa akin, one clear winner. I mean, I appreciate yung explanation mo na kung bakit gusto mo din si Coralie. Kasi I definitely agree with that. It's very rare na a woman gets to make a story about something so intrinsically personal to her. Kasi ang nakikita ko dito na parang mga female directors of recent times na nominate yung Power of the Dog. Sobrang parang weird no scene na yun sa akin. Chloe Zhao, Nomadland, na parang tell me a story, tell me a personal story. Kasi hindi naman cowboy si Jane Campion. Hindi din naman squatter si Chloe Zhao. Mas lalo namang hindi si Catherine Bigelow na Hurt Locker. Hindi naman siya sundalo. Pero the fact that Coralie was able to make a universally feminist tale as writer and director.
As a woman.
And sobrang nag-stick siya. Hindi lang sa babae, kahit sa akin. Pagkatapos natin mo doon, parang holy na parang gabi yung sining yun. That's enough to parang clinch a nomination, possibly win. Again, save Brutalist. Brady just crafts a story that doesn't feel boring, doesn't feel overlong, and it doesn't feel self-indulgent.
Yun.
Kasi may danger na kapag gumagawa ka ng scene na pas 3 oras na, Killers of the Flower Moon, na what is this movie for? Beyond 2 hours, what are you trying to say?
Medyo na-lost na nga yung message
Diba?
In the middle of, just itong mga parang very segmented na mga set pieces.
Yung sa Killers.
Parang hindi na siya nag-make sense actually by the end.
Oo. Pero yung kay Brady Corbet, 3.5 hours na sine, every minute feels earned. It feels integral to the story. Sinasabi natin may mga times, sana yung may mga movies na parang, sana miniseries to. Kasi parang you want to stay more with them. Tapos may mga scene naman na sobrang haba, sana scene na lang to. Yung mga miniseries na sobrang haba. Ito, para siyang yung mahaba na siyang sine. I want to spend more time with these characters. Ganun siya kaganda. Parang it left me wanting more. It stunned me by the end. Napaka-monumental nung achievement ni Brady Corbet. Bang klase. Hey, okay. Ito na. We have reached the end of our journey to Best Picture for the 97th Academy Awards. So, for the nominees, if you please, milady.
Okay, and the nominees are Anora,
The Brutalist,
A Complete Unknown,
Conclave,
Dune Part 2,
Emilia Perez,
I'm Still Here,
Nickel Boys,
The Substance,
and Wicked.
Pwede na tayo mag-host?
Why not? Why not?
Or presenters. Kay presenters, pwede na.
So, again, asterisk, a couple of asterisks here. I'm Still Here. As good as the word of mouth has been for this film, kung hindi natin na mapapanood, wala tayong masasabi. Nickel Boys.
Kakalabas lang
today sa streaming, apparently.
And we just learned about that a few hours ago. Naghahanda na tayo for the
episode.
For recording.
Oo. So, parang okay, wala na.
Wala ng time.
Gahol na tayo sa oras. So, maganda pa rin na batting average.
Yeah, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Not bad. Kumbaga, di ba?
Not bad at all.
Itong last MMFF natin, 9 out of 10 eh. Pwede na. Sige, so, Anora, still don't get the hype. Kasi it's again, I'm gonna stand by what I've said all those months ago. It's a movie that has been done better by other films before it. It doesn't reinvent the wheel. Yung kanyang manic slapstick energy niya was done better by Uncut Gems. Yung kanyang sex worker with a heart of gold na story was done better by Pretty Woman. Yung energy niya na parang you don't know what the F is happening, Uncut Gems din. Or Good Time ni yung Safdie Brothers, yon. So, Sean Baker is trying to ape Safdie Brothers.
Pero for sex workers.
Parang ganun. Oo. Sa Brutalist naman, skip muna natin yon. Complete Unknown. I'm so happy na James Mangold is back to his element.
Is he?
Yun naman kasi bumalik galing sa Indiana Jones 5 eh.
Well,
So parang
I mean, may soft spot ako sa kanya kasi yun yung first ever episode natin.
Well, okay, James, you get a free pass. Sige. Pero yung kumbaga, kung paano niya ginawa yung dun sa Ford v Ferrari, yung ganung dad movie energy.
Yeah,
Sabi
true.
nga ni Honest Trailers.
Well, mas superior yung Ford v Ferrari kesa dito.
Oo naman. Diyos ko, walang problema. Ay, okay, sige, ikaw, Conclave.
Conclave for me, sobrang Gossip Girl but make it Vatican. I love it so much. I live for the intrigue.
Sila father, sobrang
Daming drama nila father.
Diyos ko.
Parang nasa Chica
Di pala,
PH.
Hindi pala father, sila cardinal.
sila cardinal. Ang dami pala nilang mga no?
Daming hanash.
Oo. Mga rivalries na ganyan. I love it. It's very unique take on the common trope of ang dami na nating mga movies na lumabas na ganyan na Oscar bait eh.
Gusto ko sabihin niya parang may workplace intrigue na parang ganon.
Oo.
Tapos dinamitan nila ng pangpare. Okay. Yay!
Na sobrang unique nung idea na yun. It's
true.
very, and also sobrang visually stylish, stunning, and the cinematography, the color theory na in-apply dito sa movie na to was impeccable.
That's true.
So for me, Conclave is deserving of
Nomination.
its spot.
Ito, Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2, I think, came out too early.
Yes.
Sadly and unfortunately so. Kasi ang ganda-ganda niyang movie pero because of recency bias, I just don't remember how good it was. Kasi after watching it, we were so parang we were floored by it, 'di ba? Sobra nating we championed that movie, 'di ba?
Lumuluhod tayo sa harap ng screen pagkatapos nun.
We were so sure Denis would win an Oscar for this movie at the time.
Or at least nominated pa nga.
Oh,
diba?
at the time,
At the
yeah.
time, yes.
Pero as much as this movie is deserving,
Came too early. That's what she said. Okay, moving on. The substance. We listed the virtues of the film na rin kanina nung sinasabi natin yung tungkol kay Coralie. It's one of the bravest films in recent memory. Especially in a business as subtly misogynistic as show business.
True.
For a story to come out like this powerfully and to resonate with so many people. It's going to be a classic of body horror for years to come. Pwede mong ititabi yan sa mga Cronenberg.
Yes.
Yung mga ganyan talaga.
Tsaka, I remember how shocked I was in the cinema when I watched it for the first time, and we watched it 3 times.
Masabi ko lang hat tip to Creation Studios for releasing the R18 cut here in the Philippines.
Talagang grabe naman. Kinalampag naman natin sila to release the uncut.
Naman, di ba?
They gave it.
And they gave it, and now we see it in its full glory.
Yes.
Yun talaga.
Uncut.
Wicked. We have an entire episode gushing about that film.
Yeah.
Songs, fantastic. Everything is fantastic.
Yes.
Kaso nga lang, along came Brutalist. Yun ang kwento na itong na to, no? Itong Oscars na to para sa atin.
Well, for us, Cinegeeks lang naman.
Cinegeeks, Kasi, I mean,
I'm pretty sure marami ring ibang picks yung mga listeners natin.
That's true.
And I wanna hear about your picks as well.
That's true. Oo naman. Pero just for this, ako ang best picture ko of 2024 is The Brutalist because it has everything. Parang Stefan. Hindi. It's perfectly paced, perfectly written. Acting is impeccable on all fronts. Direction is superb. It deserves the highest honor for me. Ikaw, sino ang pick mo?
Ako, tayo ulit. MMFF style. May first best picture, second best picture.
Sino ang second best picture mo?
Magsimula tayo sa fourth best picture.
Oh my God. Ay, wait, bigyan pa natin sino yung bibigyan mo ng Gatpuno? Villegas Cultural Award.
Oo. Saka yung mga,
Tsaka
ano
yung
yun?
FPJ.
Jury citation.
Yung sandamakmak na jury citation. At saka yung FPJ Memorial Award. Sige. Sino yung tabla for you?
Tabla for me, The Brutalist and Conclave.
Ooh, Tay. Sige, bakit?
Atay. Kasi yung
Hindi apay.
Hindi apay.
Oh,
Atay. Conclave was also brave in its statement. If anything, I would say na this may be a spoiler, pero Conclave came out a few months ago pa.
Yes.
So, yan. If you haven't seen it, watch it na lang. Mas maganda pa yung statement ng Conclave about the trans community kesa sa Emilia Perez.
Yeah. So if you noticed, I skipped over that film because we're not gonna talk about that film because
We don't talk about Emilia.
F that film.
Pero watch
nako.
Conclave and mas makukuha mo pa yung mas sensitive and mas respectful depiction.
Grabe yun, nung ni-reveal yun doon.
Grabe.
What is happening? Oh my God.
Kaya-
Pardon the pun.
I give props pa rin talaga sa Conclave dun sa bravery nung statement na yun, yung needle drop na yun.
Grabe yun.
Na bigla na lang binagsak sa atin like a mic drop. Na-shock ako doon. And sabi ko, wow, how will this, parang play sa mga uber conservative na mga jury members ng academy. Pero yung Brutalist is also a tale of their immigrants eh.
Yan.
I think The Brutalist is a story that needs to be told right now. Lalo na sa political climate nila ngayon.
Yun. I mean, we have made it to the end of our Oscars episode.
Yes.
Check ko nga, ano ba na? Nagpasan ba natin yung runtime nung una nating, yung katagal ba tong Oscars natin last year? Isa't kalahati. Oy! Yay! Yay! Hindi na inawat ang siyam-siyam.
Dahil dun sa quickfire na umpisa.
Tama.
Iyan ba natin?
Himayin natin lahat. So, bumalik tayo sa original score.
2 oras.
Ayun ako. So, there you have it. Cinegeeks, our picks for who we want to win in this year's Academy Awards. So, we now turn over the floor to you all. Comment nyo kung sino yung gusto nyo manalo ng mga awards na pinag-usapan natin dito. Kahit yung mga quickfire. Sabihin nyo din kung sino yung gusto manalo. And if you want to explain why you pick them, feel free to do so. Walang problema. As long as the character limit allows you. Sige, kung ubusin nyo yung 5,000 ba yung character limit sa YouTube, o sa Spotify ko ilan. Yun. And maybe, just maybe, we might have an episode talking about your picks in the later date. Okay?
Pwede.
Pwede.
And of course, as always, don't forget to set your players to automatically download our new episodes so you don't miss out on our fun Cinegeek conversations. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you had fun or learned something new during this episode.
Or thumbs up on YouTube.
Okay. For my co-host Troy, this has been Angela. Thank you for watching or listening to the Cinegeeks podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide.